President Ramchandra Podal has unveiled the government's policies and programs for the upcoming fiscal year this afternoon at the joint session of the House of Representatives and the National Assembly. Programs and policies are a government's roadmap considered as the government blueprint on the basis of which it will channel its resources for development works. At this time of economic recession, the government's priority falls on lifting the sagging national economy. Good evening, I'm Praram Vadahal. Let's begin with the main stories. President Ramchandra Podal unveils the government's policies and programs for the next fiscal year. The government's main priority is revamping the ailing national economy. An 11-member subcommittee formed to strike a consensus on the bill on transitional justice. The committee to furnish its report in a period of 3 weeks. G7 nations agreed to stop the Russian war machine. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky to attend the summit on Sunday. And Rajasthan Royals take on Punjab Kings at the Indian Premier League later this evening. Both sides looking for a win to remain alive in the tournament. President Ramchandra Podal has presented the government's policies and programs at the joint meeting of both the houses of the Federal Parliament. President Ramchandra Podal has presented the policies and programs prepared by the government for the upcoming fiscal year. At a time when the national economy is in a sorry state, the policies and programs have stressed on health, education, employment, increasing domestic production, and commercialization of agriculture. The government has claimed that its policies and programs aim to revive the economy and increase public confidence. The Ministry of Physical Infrastructures has prioritized national pride projects, transformative projects, and projects that can be concluded within a year. According to Minister for Physical Infrastructures and Transport Prakash Jwala, the policies and programs have been introduced with the objective of halting projects that have failed to produce results because of inadequate resources. The policies and programs also aim to ensure sound management of the Prime Minister Employment Program. As per the government policies and programs, the Ministry of Energy is to increase investment in infrastructures to increase domestic consumption of electricity. In terms of industries, the government is to expand the Prime Minister Nepali Production and Consumption Increment Program. President Ramchandra Podal reached the Federal Parliament building to announce the government's policies and programs with normal security without obstructing the traffic and the public vehicular movement. In previous years, the past presidents used to reach the Parliament building amid tight security, which would give way to traffic hassles for the public. President Ramchandra Podal reached the Federal Parliament building in New Baneshwar from his official residence in Sheetal Niwas amid normal security without obstructing the traffic or movement of public vehicles. In the previous years, traffic in several parts of the city used to come to a standstill when the president had to reach the Parliament building from Sheetal Niwas. However, breaking that trend, President Podal reached New Baneshwar amid normal security with regular movement of the public vehicles. Nepal Army had arranged a motorcade for President Podal inside the premises of the Parliament building in New Baneshwar. It was also the first time President Podal made an appearance at a public program after he had developed some complications with his health. The president had reached India for treatment and had returned on the 1st of May earlier this month. Doctors had recommended President Podal to remain in isolation for 3 weeks. He had reached the rostrum inside the Parliament Hall with the help of the security personnel. The Law, Justice and Human Rights Committee of the Parliament has formed an 11-member subcommittee to discuss the bill related to transitional justice. The meeting of the committee held at Singadarbar today formed the subcommittee to hold discussions and seek consensus on the bill formulated for amendment of the Truth and Reconciliation Act and Investigation of Enforced Disappearance Persons Act. The subcommittee, which includes parliamentarians of all parties represented at the House of Representatives, has been issued a 3-week deadline. The subcommittee will hold discussions with stakeholders and furnish its report to the Law Committee. Minister for Health and Population Mohan Bahadur Bosneth has warned of taking actions against hospitals that procure health resources and leave them unattended. Interacting with journalists today, Minister Bosneth said that monitoring of hospitals across the country would be expedited and actions would be taken against those leaving the health equipment unattended. Minister Bosneth said that equipment found unused for a period of 2 years after procurement would be confiscated and handed over to other hospitals. He has also directed the hospitals to prepare and present a plan for 2 years. Minister Bosneth has also directed the federal hospitals to implement the online OPD ticketing system within 15 days to increase efficiency and ease public access to their services. Saying that the state has remained indifferent to the hunger strike of former Minister, Nepali Congress Central Member and Parliamentarian Sanjay Kumar Gautam, the Civil Society Network of Bardia has submitted a memorandum to the District Administration Office in Bardia. The network held a rally around the Galeria Market area and submitted its memorandum to Prime Minister through Chief District Officer Narayan Prasad Rizal. The memorandum has drawn the government attention to address the demands of Gautam at the earliest and save his life. Health condition of Gautam, who has been holding a hunger strike with a 15-point demand from the 13th of May, has been deteriorating. Board examinations of grade 12 of this year have concluded today. According to the National Examination Board, the board examinations that began on the 9th of May have concluded in a peaceful and disciplined manner except for a few incidents. The board has said that actions have been taken against a few invigilators and students involved in violation of exam rules and regulations. A total of 467,816 students had attended the grade 12 exams. Results of the examinations are to be published within 3 months. 3 mountaineers, including 37-year-old Norwegian Christina Harila, have climbed third highest mountain of the world, Mount Kanchenjunga, which measures 8,586 meters in altitude. According to Director of 7th Summit, Mingma Sherpa, Tenzin Sherpa of Sankasava and Kelu Sherpa of Okhaldunga have also achieved the feat. However, the team of 11 foreign nationals, which had left with them, returned to Camphor because of adverse weather condition. Meanwhile, another team, including 21 foreigners from Satori Adventure Group, returned to Camphor from an altitude of 8,400 meters. Four women have died because of pregnancy-related complications in the 10 months of the ongoing fiscal year in Taple Zone. According to the data of the District Health Office, 4 women have died in the period of 10 months of the ongoing fiscal year. The office has said that the deceased women did not have access to health institutions. Meanwhile, 7 infants have died in the district in the ongoing fiscal year. Birthing centers have been set up at the health posts to save the lives of women in their pregnancies and their babies. Meanwhile, women in their pregnancies at health risks are rescued by choppers under the President Rescue Program. Despite the ongoing efforts, curbing the maternal mortality rate has remained a challenge in the district. Health Office Sunsari has begun a campaign to curb the high risk of dengue. The District Health Office has begun a campaign through the local levels, hospitals and schools. The office, which held programs at several parts of Innorua municipality today, is to expand the campaign to Itari, Duavi and Dharan, among other places, in the next few days. 1 person was killed and 22 others were injured when 2 buses collided with each other this morning at Devkhari Dang along the East-West Highway. The deceased has been identified as 42-year-old Sova Pariyar of Rolpa's Runtigadi 7. Her 2 sons were also injured in the bus accident. The accident took place when the bus traveling from Lamahi to Bhaluwang and another bus traveling from Birganj to Dang collided at Falkapur Lamahi Municipality 3. Head of the Ward Police Office, Lamahi Shankar Shrestha, informed that most of the travelers on the bus from Birganj were bricklayer laborers in Bara district returning to their homes in Rolpa. One of the drivers of the bus, Tulsiram Ramzali, was seriously injured in the accident. According to the Ward Police Office, Lamahi, 11 people involved in the bus accident are in a critical condition. Police have said that the injured have been taken to hospitals in Butwal, Vairava and Nepalganj. More news, skin-related diseases are being seen in most inmates of Jhumka jail of Sunsari. Skin-related ailments were seen in most inmates during the 3-day free health camp jointly organized by the District Administration Office, District Hospital and the jail administration. Doctors have said that the number of inmates with skin-related ailments has increased because of poor sanitation and the jail cells exceeding their capacity. According to Chief District Officer Humkala Pandey, more than 1,200 inmates attended the health camp. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, why have the local governments not implemented preventive measures to curb risks caused by the fire-related incidents? Your options are A, lack of awareness, B, devoid of resources, and C, not in the priority. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the international news. The leaders of the Group of 7 visited the Itsukushima Shrine, a World Heritage Site, during a summit in the Japanese city of Hiroshima earlier today. They were treated to a traditional Japanese musical performance at the shrine. At the earlier meetings on the day, the G7 leaders agreed to stifle sanctions against Russia and pledged financial support for Ukraine as its President Volodymyr Zelensky prepared to join them in Hiroshima. Zelensky's presence and his calls for greater support for Ukraine in its conflict with Moscow will add drama and urgency to the gathering. The G7 leaders are already expected to announce new sanctions against Russia and closer collaboration in countering China. Earlier on the day, the G7 leaders laid wreaths in Hiroshima, a city that, along with Nagasaki, was destroyed by a U.S. atomic bomb attack 78 years ago that ended the World War II. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, who represents Hiroshima in Japan's lower house of parliament, said he chose the city for the summit in order to focus attention on arms control. Ahead of the summit, the European Union and UK announced plans to sanction Russian diamonds, imports of metals from Russia, including copper, aluminium and nickel, in support for Ukraine. So that is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin airs at 10:30 this evening. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.